Today is October 1st, 2021. The crispness of fall is in the air, but the baseball season is just heating up. Tonight, the American League East champion Tampa Bay Rays come to town for a 3-game set that will finish off the regular season. After breaking out the lumber to the tune of 5 home runs in Thursday's game, the Yankees are confident, and a win would go a long way towards securing home field advantage in the wildcard game. On the mound, they look to Nestor Cortes Jr., who enters the game with an impressive 2.85 ERA on the season. How did it all work out? My recap. Your reactions. Next. This is Yankees Game Night.
What are you looking at, butthead?
Well, possible ALDS preview tonight, although not a sure thing at this point. And it was a tight game, as you would expect. Yankees and Rays both played pretty tight baseball tonight. Yankees continue to struggle at Yankee Stadium. You know, they lost those games to the Indians. Now you lose to the Rays. I would think the Yankees should be able to play a little bit better at their home ballpark. Yo Elvis jumping out ahead of everybody with the super chat says, how you don't bring in Chapman, Boone, shake my head. Appreciate the dono. We've got a little bit to get to, so please hold your donos until later on. Yankees rally late but come up short. Toronto won, Boston won. I know that's not what you guys want to hear. Yankees lead shrinks, but let's step back from the ledge a little bit. I'd still rather be in the Yankees position than in Toronto or Boston's position at this point. Yankees can still win the next 2 games and host the wild card. I know a few of you are Sopranos fans, so I'm going to keep this somewhat short. The Many Saints of Newark is now available on HBOMax.com, and my plan is to watch that after the stream with my buddy who is waiting downstairs. A few housekeeping items. Tomorrow night I have to attend a wedding, so no post-game recap. Please do not post tomorrow. Where's the recap? I'm going to do a watch party for the first half of the game or so, and then I've got no choice. I got to get ready and go to this wedding. I will be able to see the game, but I'm just not going to have time to do the post-game recap. But we will be back on Sunday with a recap for the final game of the season. And then Monday, a fresh, all-new episode of the Frieze, either looking forward to the wildcard game or ranting about a blown opportunity. Nelson Cruz homered in the top of the first to make it 1-0 Rays. Gleyber Torres led off tonight. DJ LeMahieu out of the lineup with his groin and hip issues. And Gleyber led off the game by ripping a double down the left field line, swanging it much better lately. Stanton drives him in with a nice piece of hitting to right field, base hit. 97th ribby on the year for Giancarlo. Joey Gallo made a nice diving catch in the top of the second. I've seen a lot of people ripping Joey Gallo's defense lately. He does seem to have some trouble with pop-ups. A-Rod had trouble with pop-ups too. It's a weird thing. Pop-ups can give guys a lot of difficulty, but he's a lot better in the outfield than people I think are giving him credit for. He's much better going back than coming in. I think he's good at going to his sides, got a great arm, made a nice diving catch tonight. Kevin Kiermaier made it 2-1 Rays with a bloop single to center field, also in the top of the second. Rays took McClanahan out after 3 innings, but the Yankees couldn't do anything against the Rays bullpen either. It was just a real struggle for the Yankees tonight offensively until the last inning, basically. Nestor Cortes was out after 4 2/3. I thought he did okay. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, about what you've come to expect out of Nestor Cortes. He finishes the season with a 2.90 ERA in 93 innings. Very solid year for the mustachioed one. Yankees threaten in the bottom of the 6th, but Gallo lines out sharply to right field to end the inning. Wandy Peralta had 3 strikeouts out of the pen tonight. Left 2 men on base in the top of the 7th. Jonathan Loaizaga came in. He and Wander Franco had a great battle with the bases loaded in the 7th. Loaizaga won the battle, but I doubt that's the last matchup we're going to see between those 2 guys in a big spot. Maybe not even the last one this year or this series. Domingo Germán pitched a scoreless top of the 8th. His first appearance since July. He looked good in the 8th. He actually ran into some trouble in the 9th. We'll get to that in a second. Gleyber Torres smoked one in the bottom of the 8th, but they were playing him practically at the warning track. So it was caught for an out. He's been undeniably swinging the bat a little bit better since moving back to second base. Thought he, hit the ball hard a couple of times tonight. Top of the ninth, Herman lost the strike zone and left 2 men on base for Abreu. Wander Franco singles them in to make it 4-1. Stanton ripped a base hit in the ninth. Stanton got to second base on a wild throw. Actually reached up to try and catch the ball. He might have just been deking. It was weird. I thought he might get called for interference on that. He took third base on defensive indifference. I don't think they scored that as a stolen base. There was a shift, so there was nobody playing third. He just took third base. And then Gallo drops down a bunt to single him in and get on base. Urshela ripped a base hit to put the tying run on base, and then Gardy singles to make it 4-3. Sanchez, though, pinch hits for Higashioka and strikes out. And then Odor strikes out to end it. Ball game over. Bronxy soup. Yankees lose. Steven Canoff says, this game was a must-win. I don't care what you guys say. I'm sure the Yankees were treating it like a must-win, and they rallied and they made it a tough game. But, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Hey, look, the Rays are a good team. There's a reason they have 99 victories. They've played the Yankees very tough. They're a boring team to watch. They strike out a ton. They shift a ton. They've got, home run power. Obviously, Nelson Cruz is a home run machine. So they're just, I'm tired of watching the Rays. I'm honestly just tired of watching the Rays. Dr. Randy Cokewave says, why Abreu tried to win this game? Chapman, you have a huge bullpen making their job. The game's supposed to finish 3-2 walk-off. I don't know the full story about that. Maybe Chapman is a little bit tired, a little bit worn out. He's pitched a lot lately. He's had some tough outings. I don't know. That's an interesting question for Boone to answer on the post game. Maybe they just like the matchup with Abreu better. But still, that is not saving Boone in the chat. Jordan Thyler says, fire Boone. Ariadna says, fur. And then Action Figure Nerd says, why is Blowdoor on the roster? Amen. Look, former eBayer says Boone blew the season. Season's not over yet. The Yankees still hold the lead in the wild card.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, my watch is talking to me. Sometimes it feels like the season. We've had how many funerals for the Yankees this year? It feels, after a devastating loss, like it's all over. But the Yankees could come back and win tomorrow and Sunday, and no blood lost. And it's still, the other teams behind them still have to win. That's not a foregone conclusion. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So let's stay optimistic. I'm optimistic. This is a better Yankees team than they were for most of the season. Most of the season, they would have just rolled over in the ninth inning there. Warren France says, DJ missing another crucial game. He's injured. I'm sure he doesn't want to sit out. He's hurt. He's been playing hurt. It's probably gotten to the point where he can't play physically. So let's see here. Cybercat says, imagine if Judge got on base. Hey, can't get on base every time. It's still a tough game, baseball. And, I mean, I don't know what to say. I feel like we expect a lot out of these guys, but they're not always going to come through. So I'm just trying to walk everybody back from the ledge because the Yankees might come out tomorrow and drop the hammer. Let's see here. Junior B says, nah, Rays are trash. I'm sorry, that's just not true. They have 99 wins. They got the best record in the American League. Just because they were bad 10 years ago doesn't mean they're bad now. They're a good baseball team. You guys need to start giving them the credit that they're due. Michael Rubio says, I love Sanchez, but I'm done. Appreciate the dono there. Hit the wrong button. Appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, I've got a feeling that Sanchez is probably on his last licks here in New York. My thing about Sanchez, though, is that there's not a lot of people that are better than him offensively, and the Yankees definitely value offense. I thought Higashioka did a really nice job behind the plate tonight. He saved another run. He looked good out there, but he can't hit. I mean, he'll get you the occasional hit, and the Yankees don't value his offense as much as they value Gary's. I just don't know who you can get. I mean, I would love to go get that kid from the Brewers, the left-handed hitter who's, fantastic, Oscar Navarez, I think, but there's no way they're giving him up. So, we'll see how it is. Ray Rard says, Yankees need an 8-2 win tomorrow to take the pressure off. I agree. Stone Cold says, my birthday is Tuesday. I want to see the Yankees wild card on that day. Well, just in case we don't,
Happy birthday!
Have a happy birthday. Anyway, Kobe says he'll take anyone but Gary. Jeffrey Elwood says Sanchez is still one of the best offensive catchers. I mean, you're not wrong. If you look at the numbers of him compared to the other catchers in the major leagues, he's got more power than most of them. He's got a higher OPS than most of them, and he's still not that great, but he's better than the alternatives a lot of the times offensively. Defensively, there's a lot of catchers that are out there that are better. But how many of them can provide anything offensively? I would be comfortable if they went with Higashioka full-time, because I think if he played more, he would have hit more. Shah Dinar says Higgy would have made contact there. Possibly. I think he would have had a better at-bat. I think he would have had a better at-bat than Sanchez for sure. Akanti says, what Gary are you seeing? I'm seeing the same Gary that I've seen for years and years. And the Yankees seem to keep betting that he'll get better the next year. Well, I mean, catchers at this age don't get that much better year over year, typically. So I think if we get Gary back next year, it's going to be more of the same. So the Yankees have to really evaluate who they can bring in that would give them more wins, frankly. Who would provide a higher WAR at that position that's available to them? If you can do that, then I'm all for it. Go get rid of Gary and get somebody else in here. I'm not the world's biggest Gary fan. I never have been. Will Starr says, once he saw Abreu, he shut off his TV. I don't blame you, but I'm not as down on Abreu. I mean, those runs are charged to Domingo Germán. He walked 2 guys. Cool Rodri says, Yanks will be fine. We blew their bullpen, can destroy their starters, and their bullpen is gassed. Their bullpen looked pretty good to me tonight until the 9th inning. Appreciate the dono. Ariadna says she cannot stand a lot of the umps, especially today's home plate umpire. There were some bad calls today. One that stuck out to me was in the 9th inning, Giancarlo Stanton. There was a pitch that far below the zone that got called a strike. Unbelievable. I want to hear if you guys are in favor of robot umps, because I certainly am. David Evans says, clutch hit by Gardy. I hardly agree. Big hit. I've been thinking about my wild card lineup, which I'll do an episode of the Frieze on Monday if there is a wild card on Tuesday, and it will include my lineup prediction as part of it. And I've been thinking about whether or not I want to put Gardner out there in center field, or if I want to do Judge in center, Stanton in right, and then, Gary or whomever at DH. I guess you can't DH Voit now because he's hurt. But if you want to DH Gary on a night where Garrett Cole will be pitching and Higashioka will be catching, you can set your roster for having a third catcher because it's a one-game situation. So the Yankees could go with another catcher there and be able to DH Gary. Depends on who you're going to face. I mean, right now it looks like probably the Red Sox, could be the Jays, could be the Mariners. Mariners are winning tonight. So, Yoelvis says, relax, we're not in yet. I've been saying that we're not in, but I still feel good about it. I still feel better than I would if I was the Blue Jays or the Red Sox. Hola Petrito says, put RoboCop as the ump. Mike Wang says, ride the hot hand. Yeah, I agree. I think I would go with Brett Gardner in center field. He's been having better at bats. He's been playing better in the second half. And it really depends on who we're facing. Wilson says, why not bring up Velasquez? I think you do bring up Velasquez. I think you would have Velasquez as that extra bench player for a wild card game. And I'll get to that when I do my layout of the roster. Juan Santiago says, what really gets me pissed is that the Yankees can destroy any team's ace but get bullied by a regular. 100% agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And don't know hype. Yeah, the Yankees seem to struggle, and I was thinking about that the other day. I was actually brushing my teeth, and I had this thought. I spend way too much time thinking about the Yankees, guys. And I'm sitting there, and I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm listening to Ambitions as a Rider by Tupac. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm thinking, the Yankees seem to hit better pitchers because these guys have been successful for a reason. They generally have a pattern, you know, and so it can be easier to figure out guys like Robbie Ray. You know he's going to throw certain pitches in certain areas. But a younger guy who doesn't have as many scouting reports or doesn't have as good a control can be kind of all over the place. But with a really good arm, you just kind of have to defend against great stuff. And that can be really tough to do as a hitter. Let's see here. Mariners up 1-0. Junior B says Brett the Vet. A lot of people big fans of Brett. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night and get started on the Sopranos movie. I'll be back for a watch party tomorrow. Going to do probably 3 or 4 innings before I have to get ready and go to this Union of Holy Matrimony. And then I'll be back after the game on Sunday, and we'll know where we're at. But feel free to tune in for the first few innings tomorrow, and I will see you then. I appreciate all of the support. Go Yanks! Special shout out to the Patreon supporters and anyone else who has supported this channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it the old thumbs up and subscribe for more Yankees content year-round. If you really enjoyed it, check out the Frieze. It's the official podcast of this channel. Or pick up some swag from the Teespring store, link in the description. Thanks for watching.